Activists and rebels say chemical weapons allegedly used in Syria last week killed more than 1,000 people. Now, as the UN investigates the allegations, senior Obama administration officials say there's no doubt chemical weapons were used, and the White House is stepping up plans for military action against the Syrian regime. The conflict in Syria has been raging now for 2.5 years. Over 100,000 Syrians have died. So what's it about chemical weapons that's spurring possible U.S. intervention now? At a press conference Monday, Secretary of State John Kerry said chemical weapons are
moral obscenity.
What he didn't say directly is that using them at the scale of last week's alleged incident provides a potential legal and humanitarian justification for the U.S. to intervene militarily without the UN's approval. The Chemical Weapons Convention has been signed by 189 nations, representing about 98% of the global population. Syria is among the countries that hasn't signed it, and it's not entirely clear whether international law prohibits chemical attacks in a civil war. How did chemical weapons become illegal? In World War I, the use of chlorine and mustard gas resulted in nearly 100,000 horrific deaths. In the war's aftermath, several nations signed the Geneva Protocol in 1925, prohibiting the use of chemical weapons in warfare. But the treaty didn't block development, production, or stockpiling of chemical weapons. During World War II, chemical weapons were never used on the European battlefield, though Germany used poison gas in the Holocaust, and the Geneva Protocol's limitations became even more apparent during the Cold War, as the U.S. and Soviet Union built up enormous stockpiles
of toxic chemical agents,
with the U.S. training its troops in what to do in a chemical war.
Then rinse it off with water.
While the superpowers never used their chemical weapons against one another, it didn't stop everyone from using them, including Iraq's President Saddam Hussein, who unleashed his against Iran and his own Kurdish population. With the end of the Cold War, a new treaty in 1992, the Chemical Weapons Convention, banned production of chemical weapons and their use under any circumstances. Aren't nuclear weapons a bigger worry? They're capable of killing a lot more people, but experts say there's a much smaller chance of terrorists obtaining them. So this might also help explain why the U.S. is contemplating military action against Syria, to tell all rogue regimes who might supply terrorists with chemical weapons, don't even think about it. That's the short answer.